Welcome to Beyond Incredible. I'm Ashley Nicole. We are live downtown Windsor, the Business Accelerator, 720 Olet Ave, and today is Friday the 13th. Today we have a special guest with us, Mitch Kobe Kay. He's going to talk to us about some charities and fundraisers that are happening, especially his that are happening around the holidays. And we're also going to talk about something that happened in Texas about some young man who drove drunk, killed 4 people, and somehow got 10 years probation. So we'll be right back after these commercials.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of this program, Beyond the Incredible, a wild ride to the brink of madness. As always, presenting the topics others might be too afraid to expose to the public. But let me tell you, the truth is beyond incredible, as it is the title of this program. Fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride.
He just got 14. Oh.
Sorry?
Welcome back. I'm Ashley Nicole. Christmas time's here. It's December. It's the middle of December. Christmas is about, 12 days away. There's a lot of different charities going on right now and a lot of different fundraisers, from the Salvation Army to the St. Vincent de Paul to Goodfellows. A lot of food drives going on, can drives, everything like that. But Mitch has a special fundraiser happening. Mitch, why don't you tell us about your fundraiser?
Okay, my fundraiser is called A Very Kobe Christmas. Last year it kicked off officially. 2 years ago, I bought a pair of shoes for a student at Herman. I sent them over to a teacher, and I had him just give them to a student he deemed worthy, he deemed needing, and just to kind of surprise him. The feedback I got from that was great. He sent me a letter talking about how happy he was. He was having a bad day, and he got these kicks essentially in the mail. The teacher presented him with them, and it gave me a good feeling, and I know it was good for him. So the next year, I wanted to do it again, and I wanted to do 2 pairs of shoes. So I bought the first pair, and I used Facebook as kind of a platform, and I just put it out there to see if anybody wanted to help. And a friend of mine, Ivan Tremblay, stepped up, and he said, I'm all in. And he went out and he bought a pair of shoes. And I tagged Ivan in a post, and I thanked him for stepping up and doing that. And then the response was overwhelming. People started coming forward and saying, how can I help? And I started tagging them and saying thank you. And it was kind of like a pay it forward thing. And before you knew it, we had, 6 full family Christmases, shoes for many kids, all kinds of cool stuff went on. So the whole community kind of got together, and I did a really big Christmas project, and kind of came on out of nowhere.
Okay, so it's happening again this year. How is it going this year so far?
It is. I wasn't sure if I was going to run it again, but people that were involved last year started to reach out and say, we want to do it again. Ivan in particular came to me and said, my daughter did a piece at school. She did a paper on someone she admired, and she did it on her dad, because she admired that he went out and bought all these kids gifts he didn't know. Mm-hmm. So you see the ripple effect of how many people this actually helped. It goes far and beyond just the kids you're buying gifts for. It affected Ivan, and it affected his daughter. So and then I got a phone call from a girl who was a contact through my gym. Mm-hmm. She belongs to the United Sheikh Temple of Windsor. Okay. And they want to do like 15 families, and so with all this extra people and everyone coming forward, it would have been silly not to do it again. So it looks to be actually bigger and better this year.
That's awesome. So how can people contact you, and how can people donate things if they want to help out?
Right now, I'm just choosing families through work. I work for a school board here in Windsor. The program isn't through my work. I do it independently. I do use my work as a place to find and locate people in need. You can contact me on email at mitchkay52@gmail.com, mitchkay52@gmail, and you can talk to me there, and then I can bring you on board and let you know everything you need to know. Basically, I will tell you what to get. you purchase the gift, and I make sure it gets to where it needs to go.
That's awesome. So, so a good response. Then you've done other fundraisers throughout the year as well, right?
I did one this year for Tony and TJ Laramie, the two young fighters from Windsor. They were going to compete in the Worlds, and we did a barbecue at Maximum Training Center, and that ended up being an excellent project. Pardon me. Ended up raising over $500 for them to get to where they needed to go. So that one worked out great as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be right back after this short commercial, and we'll talk some more.
You're watching Exist TV, streaming live from downtown Windsor. For the Windsor Downtown, this is Accelerator, and this is Beyond Incredible with Ashley Nicole. We'll be right back. You're watching Exist TV, streaming live from downtown Windsor. For the Windsor Downtown, this is Accelerator, and this is Beyond Incredible with Ashley Nicole. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. So like I said, it is Christmas time. It is the season for giving. It always feels good to give to charity and to be appreciated that way. Next, we're going to talk about this teenager. Ethan Couch is his name, from Texas, 16 years old. He was driving drunk, and he killed 4 people. He went to court. He got 10 years probation. And they used the affluenza defense, which means that he's blameless for driving drunk. Now, his defense was that he's rich and that he was spoiled and he didn't know any better. What do you think about that?
I think the biggest factor in play there is money. Typically in court, the more you pay, the easier it gets. Certainly in this situation, it sounds a little odd. You got somebody that's convicted, it's guilty. There wasn't the evidence was there that it happened. He must have had a lot of money. I know in the States especially, they go above and beyond to try young people as adults, and I'm kind of surprised that didn't happen in that case. Probably paid a lot of money to get that.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, how much did the lawyer have to get paid? Now he's going to sit in a rehab that costs about, I think I read that it was like $1,200 a day for this rehab where they practice yoga. There's horses, there's all this spiritual stuff happening at this rehab. But in the States, they take DUIs very seriously. Even celebrities that have a DUI have to go to jail for at least 24 hours, and they've got money, so...
Jail doesn't always cure or fix things.
No.
Certainly in the case of the families feeling like they got conviction, but this kid has to live with this the rest of his life. He killed 4 people. At some point in time, he's going to grow up and have to come to terms with he's responsible for that. And to be honest, he may never be the same. So that in itself is going to pay big dividends on how the rest of his life plays out. But he killed 4 people. My opinion is that's a bit of a joke.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a mother and a child involved and a couple other people. It's just crazy. And he's underage drinking too. In the States, it's 21 to drink. I don't drink and drive. Like, don't they have big rallies against drinking and driving in the States and stuff like that? So. Well,
yeah, it's frowned upon anywhere. Let's face it, most people have done it, and it's not a good look when you crash your car, and this is the end result in the worst case scenario if somebody dies, and in this case he didn't. So again, he has to live with that, and I mean, it's crazy. 4 people, 16 years old. I fear for those. I feel for those families and what they have to go through for the rest of their lives, losing people for no reason.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep in mind when you're out there this holiday season to not drink and drive. If you're going to drink, get a cab. There's cab numbers all over the place. I believe there's an app on the phone that you can find cab numbers and stuff like that. So try not to drink and drive. Also, the roads are pretty slippery now. It is winter time, so be cautious of what you're doing. I know in Windsor, when it snows just a little bit, everybody likes to drive about 10 kilometers an hour and act like there's a big, huge snowstorm. So Just careful with that. We will be right back after this short commercial.
You are watching Exist TV, streaming live from downtown Windsor for the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator, and this is Beyond Incredible with Ashley Nicole. We'll be right back. You're watching Exist TV, streaming live from downtown Windsor for the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator, and this is Beyond Incredible with Ashley Nicole. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Ashley Nicole.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the mixed martial arts scene in Windsor, and we've gone a while now without a card here in Windsor. It's very expensive to throw these shows. It's $40,000 for anybody to throw a card in Windsor. We've had somewhat poor attendance in some of our pro shows here in the city, and that's part of the reason why we haven't been able to have anything above and beyond Bellator. We know Bellator is a company that has a lot of money. They've been able to come to the casino, but the other companies are scared to come here. It's $40,000 out of the gate to throw a show, and you tack on flights, fighter pay, doctors, all the expenses. I mean, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
So even for these guys to break even, these promoters aren't being greedy, and it's like they want to make all this money and they're unable to break even. They're losing money. So when we do get a pro show back in this city, Windsor's gotta support our fighters. We've got some great men and women in this city that are working tirelessly in that gym 7 days a week, that want to perform at home on home court and put on good shows, and we just need people to go. We need people to be there. If you're a fan and you can afford it, of course, get the ticket, go out there, support your local fighters, so we can keep doing this in Windsor. I'd like to see a pro show back here soon.
That would be great. I love watching fights. Any local athletes, though, you should definitely be supporting any local athlete. Athletes work their butts off to get to where they are. We do have a local basketball team, and I do go to the basketball games, and there's hardly anybody at those games. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're not even filling half the arena. And those basketball players, they're coming from everywhere to play, and like they're putting money out, and they're having people come from PEI and stuff like that, and it costs money.
Yeah, I hear all the time people complain in Windsor that there's nothing to do, and if we get out and support these local things, I mean, it's not expensive.
There will be stuff to do.
Yeah, it's fun.
There will be stuff. You just got to look for it. Every single your Spitfire games. If you're into hockey, there's basketball games. If you're into basketball, like Mitch was saying, there's MMA fights. If more people can come out and support it, it costs a lot of money to put these things on.
Because people underestimate Windsor.
Yeah, that way people won't underestimate Windsor.
Because compared to Detroit.
When it's kind of odd, because in a lot of other areas, Windsor's great at supporting our community. We do have a strong community here in Windsor. We do come together and we do a lot for each other. It's just, I find it being just with the sports. The Spits is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming off that fantastic run there, but the Spits are pretty good. But anything else, it just seems that we're having trouble getting people to show up, and that's what we need to keep this stuff going. Certainly with the mixed martial arts.
Definitely. So when it does happen, let us know, and we'll
absolutely. I'll come back down here, and I'll help promote and get the word out there, and we'll try to make sure these tickets are affordable, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being on our show.
All right, thanks for having me.
We'll be back next week with another special guest. Until then, have a good night and stay warm.